guys, it's SugarPlumSimss here and welcome back to another video. Today we are doing another speed build as usual because I haven't really been building anything else, or rather I haven't really been recording anything else because I'm not going to be recording any more Let's Plays until I get a new microphone, which will probably not be until my birthday, which is like a month away. A month and a bit away. About a month and a half away, sorry. So yeah, that shouldn't be too long, but just because my fan sometimes goes really loud and it's really hard to record Let's Plays with it because with recording voiceovers, and I've mentioned this a few times now actually, I can get away with using my microphone, and then when my fan starts to pick up I can pretty much just leave my Windows tablet to cool down and then I can come back and it seems to be fine. But when I'm recording Let's Plays, it's just the fan picks up as soon as I start playing, so it's a bit unavoidable, which is why I often kind of have trouble recording Let's Plays. So I'm not going to be recording any until I get a new microphone, so that my microphone isn't literally like right next to the fan, so hopefully that should help somewhat. Although in saying that, my microphone at the moment is actually pretty good quality considering it's the built-in one. But yeah, I want to buy a new microphone, and I've mentioned this a few times, so why not mention it again? So I did want to mention that I cut out a few parts of this video because otherwise it would have been very long, and it would have been about 45 minutes, which I think personally is too long, or rather I know that a lot of people will find it too long. For me personally, I don't mind if it's a bit longer. I watch videos all the time that are like 40 minutes and over long. So yeah, and I didn't cut out too much. I basically cut out the parts that I thought wouldn't be as important. So anything that would have been more repetitive or anything that's pretty self-explanatory once you kind of see what I'm doing. So that's the only parts I cut out really, and the rest is, you know, still in the video. Oh yeah, and I actually wanted to mention quickly is that I won Pineapple's build contest, which I'm really happy about. I was really excited when I was watching the video because earlier that day, Pineapple had released like a sort of a Twitter, well, she posted on Twitter about how she was uploading the prize, or like the winners of the contest later on that day, and she also posted the thumbnail, and I saw my build in the thumbnail because there were like 5 builds in the thumbnail, and that's when I kind of got a bit more excited because I already knew that I think I probably would have become runner-up if I had known that she was doing runners-up, because she did do 3 other runners-up, and then there were like 2 winners, so I thought even if I didn't win I would still be a runner-up, which I was really happy about. And then as I was watching, it was getting closer to the end of her announcing all the runners-up, and I still hadn't come up yet, so that is when I realised, and I was really happy about it. So I did choose to get the Vintage Glamour pack, which I'm really happy I chose because I really do love the pack, and all the items in it are really amazing, and I know that I've just like been missing out for so long. Oh yeah, and the Parenthood pack came out today, which I am quite excited about, even though I won't be getting it just yet. I'll have to wait a bit until it comes down in the price before buying it because I'm just like not made of money or anything. But I am really excited about that. I've already watched SugarPlumSimss Creator Sim overview, and that looks pretty cool, even though, being completely honest, I am not entirely sold on the Kaz items because I just feel like I'm not going to use a lot of them, but I do think that there are some really nice items in there. You just have to kind of go through the items that you know you're not going to use, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I wouldn't want to buy the pack, because I obviously do, since I mean I pretty much want to buy every pack eventually. I've already got 6 of the stuff packs, which I'm pretty pleased with because my collection is definitely growing. And then what else? So I pretty much have I have all the game packs and all the expansion packs, and now I'm just missing 4 of the stuff packs and the parenthood packs. So yeah, that shouldn't take me too long to get. I was actually looking the other day the other day I was out with my mum and we were just kind of going around town. We went to the library because I get some books from there, and we also went to Primark, which I think there's a Primark in the USA. I don't know about in other countries, but Primark is just like a cheap clothes shop, and I bought a few new tops there, and then my mum took me to a cafe as sort of like a surprise type of thing, or like just a treat, I guess. And that was nice, even though I ordered a macchiato, which, if you don't know what that is, it is basically like a coffee shot type thing, or it's just like very concentrated coffee, which I didn't know at the time. I thought it would be like a latte type thing, and it wasn't. And it came and I was like, oh, okay, well, this is unexpected. And then I drank it anyway, and it was kind of making me feel slightly sick drinking it because it was so strong and bitter, but I drank it anyway because, you know, waste not, want not, and all that, even though I probably could have asked for it in like a bigger cup with some milk in it. I don't know. But yeah, I just won't be ordering that again. And yeah, so this is the kitchen. It took me a while to get the kitchen right, so I cut out a few minutes before I got to this point, which is sort of a point where I keep the counter style, but I change the colours a bit, and I think it works out quite nicely in the end, although I always have a bit of trouble getting a nice kitchen to look good, or like a kitchen to look good. I'm not that great at kitchens, to be honest. I think smaller kitchens I'm alright at, but just the bigger kitchens that have so much space in them, I just find a bit hard to fill up with counters and make them look good. And I do island counters, which I think help quite a bit, and then I just change them to a darker blue and white, and then I have like white top counters, or cupboards rather, and I think that all works quite well. And I haven't mentioned yet sort of the colour scheme I went for. So basically I started off, when I was building this, I really wanted to do some pastel yellow on the exterior, and I matched that with some blue because it's quite a complementary colour. And then I decided to do lots of pastel colours on the interior, and I think in the end that works out quite well. And I do add some like tiling at the back of those ovens, and yeah, and I just cut out a bit more of that. I don't actually know why I cut it out. I think I was just like cutting out things that were a bit unnecessary because it was just such a long speed build. It took me about 6 hours to build, which is quite a while for me personally. I know a lot of simmers take a lot longer. I think Freezer Bunny, he has his videos up to about 40 minutes, and for me that's a bit too long, I think. And I mean, I was considering posting this as it was, but I just thought, you know, who would actually watch that, so that's why I changed it. And then this is the living room as well, which is called the Great Room in the foundation, so I'm assuming that is the living room. I already saw, who was it now? I think I saw both Miss Griffey and Pineapple building RORY'S build challenge. I think Miss Griffey did it. I'm pretty sure the one I'm thinking about, she did it. Because I think she was one of the people who spoke about how the the living room was hard to do a layout of, although I could be mistaken, I don't know. But I think that I did alright on the layout of the living room, and I also put the TV on a chest of drawers, which was a bit unusual for me, but I do think it looks quite nice, and I do like the way it looks. Plus, it just kind of fit with the theme a bit better, and there weren't really any TV stands that worked with the build very well. But yeah, I just went with some pastel greens and pinks for this room, as I think they definitely fit with the pastel theme very nicely. And then I just do a bunch of plants because, you know, who doesn't love an overload of plants? I mean, I do. I really like plants. Okay, and I did have to take a little break just then, just to let my fan cool down a bit because it was starting to work up, and in those few minutes I did just try and play the piano because I have been trying to teach myself. I'm not that good at it, and to be honest I can't really play many chords, and I think I've mentioned this quite a few times. Basically the way I kind of teach myself to play is I like watch these videos of the notes coming down to the keyboard, and although it's not teaching me like the note position stuff in terms of chords, it is kind of helping me to play these songs without like an instructor or something, because the closest thing I have to a piano instructor is my mum, and obviously she can't be around like 24/7 to teach me how to play, so I just kind of want to play songs, so that's how I do it, and it's a lot of fun. Because I was just playing Hallelujah by I can't remember his name, but that's like, I've kind of perfected that song, but that's sort of not using all the notes, and it's quite an easy version. So I also want to learn to play Fairy Tale, which is another song that was in Shrek, because, you know, Shrek is amazing, just saying. I actually watched it the other day. Well, I kind of partly watched it because it was on in the living room. I think my older sister was watching it, and I just thought I'd kind of sit in and listen to it, and to be honest I didn't actually have to be there for the entire film to know what was going on, because that is how many times I've watched it. I just basically know everything in the film scene to scene, and if I miss out a scene I can pretty much imagine what's going on, or if I'm not even watching I can just imagine the scene playing out. I don't know, it's just, Shrek is one of those films for me that just never gets old, no matter how many times I've watched it, and trust me when I say I've watched it a lot. But yeah, so this is the study, and I really like the study. It's kind of a bit more on the minimalistic side, because I didn't want to do much in here. I don't know. It was noted down on the foundation as a den. I don't know what a den is supposed to be, but I'm assuming maybe just like a chill out zone, so that's what I kind of tried to make it. It's kind of half study, half sort of reading nook, I guess. I just took it to my own imagination to figure out what it would be, and this is what I came up with. And I do cut out a bit more where I'm just putting stuff on the shelves, because that must be a bit boring to watch. So yeah, just putting like books and tissue boxes and stuff on the shelves. Definitely not interesting to watch. So I do cut it out, and now we're on to the garage, which I do work on quite a bit actually. And I put in the car, and I kind of use the garage door to help me scale it correctly, because this is just a toy car. I kind of wish we had real cars in the game, even if they were just for props and not actually usable, although I guess the Sims could probably get in the car, drive off, and then the loading screen pops up, which I think would probably make it just a bit more realistic, even if we don't have open world in the Sims rather. And this is, I add like a lot of storage boxes and stuff in the garage, and I also put a bit of like mismatched furniture, because I think that kind of makes sense, because if you are living in a house over time, I'm sure you build up a collection of items that you don't really need inside the house, so you just keep in the garage or something, or even a storage box or like a storage space. And I did also put on show hidden objects for these little wood carvings, and I also put a few like bits of wood carving scraps on the floor for a bit of realism. And that is kind of pretty much this area with a woodworking table. And I haven't mentioned yet, but this house is kind of designed in mind for a family that loves to paint, because upstairs in the bonus room I made that into like a little painting headquarters, and there's also like a little desk as well. So there are like a couple desks around the house that Sims can use, just because it is quite a large house. And I just personally quite like the idea of having lots of just painting objects around the house, and Also, this easel the Sims can't use, and it is also like a item that you get from the painting career, so I thought it would make sense that you wouldn't be allowed to use it, just in case if you're playing The Sims and you want to build up your painting career and then you gain those objects, maybe you just like wait a bit until you actually can buy that easel in the build mode, and then sorry, my voice just started to disappear, but and then you can kind of use that easel again. And then this is the little, like, I feel like we have two mud rooms, because one is right next to the kitchen, and then there's this one which is connected to a little bathroom, which I actually really like, especially with those windows from Get to Work. And I did a little thing with the wallpaper colour where I kind of do half the wall in pink, half with the stone, and that was kind of an accident, and then I just worked with it, because, you know, if you make a mistake that actually turns out to be good, that is pretty good. So yeah, and that's pretty much the bathroom. Oh yeah, and I haven't mentioned yet, but I think midway through building this, I went into my game and we had the update, which actually gave us quite a few new lights. Well, I say quite a few. We have 3 new modern lights, which I'm really pleased about, because I've been wanting some modern overhead lights, like the hanging lights, for ages, because just the lights we have in the game so far are either quite fancy or just like traditional or something, and we don't have really basic modern lights. So I'm really glad they gave it to us as a free patch, as I always love it when they give us free items, since I feel like without all the packs the game really is lacking in quite a few areas. So it's just quite nice to have a few new items without having to pay money for them. And then this is like the family bathroom upstairs, which I went again with some green, because I don't know, I really like this green swatch. I don't think I've used it very often before, but I do think it works quite well, especially with the pastel theme, and I also have been really loving the kids room and the backyard stuff packs. These packs are really cool, and they have lots of colourful items in them, which I think make it a lot more fun to furnish actually. And I mean, to be honest, this bathroom is quite basic because I didn't want to spend too much time on it, but I don't know, in these larger builds I do kind of like to make the bathrooms a bit more interesting, and so in these bathrooms I made them a few slightly different colours, and I also didn't just do them all identical, which I think looks quite nice. And then this is the master bedroom, which I wouldn't want to have in real life, but I do think it still works quite well, and the colours are just personally not for me. I wouldn't want to have this sort of bland mauvey colour. I think that's the right colour word description. But yeah, it's just not the nicest room, or at least I don't think I would like this room, but I do think that the colours work quite well together. So yeah, and I would actually like to create more, or at least build more penthouses and apartments, because so far I haven't really built that many apartments in city living, and I also need to actually work on my Bridgeport apartment. No, not Bridgeport, that's Simply Katie's apartment series, and not gonna lie, her apartment series kind of inspired me to start my own. And when I said Bridgeport, that's hers, and you should definitely check it out, but I can't remember my own name for my apartment series. It might begin with an H, but I can't remember, so let me just quickly check on my phone. Lots of notifications about the Parenthood pack, because I don't know, that pack is just blowing up my phone, and I'm really excited to look at some of the new videos, because as I've mentioned, I've only seen SugarPlumSimss CAS review, and I really want to see the build items and also the overview, like the gameplay aspect of the pack. So, playlist, and what's my apartment? Hartford apartment complex. So I was right with the H, but anyway, so I need to work on that apartment series because I haven't really done anything with it recently, and I was having a lot of fun with it, so I should probably get back into that once I finish with this house. And this will be uploaded the day after the Parenthood pack is released, so I'm recording this the day before, or at least I'm recording this on the day of release, so I don't actually know whether it's been released to the public yet or whether it's just people with early access get to upload their videos. I'm not sure yet. I haven't actually looked into it because I won't be able to get it until it's kind of gone down a bit in price, so I'm probably gonna do a bit of research about that. And also what am I saying? I had a thought in my head and now I've lost it. So I made an Instagram today, and I already had an Instagram. It was like my SugarPlumSimss Instagram, which has like one post on it, and I never know what to post on there because I don't know whether I'd be comfortable like posting pictures of my face, because you know I'm just not really that into selfies or anything, and I just don't have that many of it interesting things to photograph. So yeah, I need to work on my Instagram for my YouTube channel. But I did start like an art Instagram because I do really like doing like drawing and stuff, and being completely honest, sometimes this is really weird because I don't do art at school, and I thought that, well, basically I try to teach myself to do art, and I mean sometimes it kind of fails and stuff, but sometimes it just sort of, as I'm drawing, it just suddenly clicks and I managed to make something that I think personally looks quite good. And it's kind of weird because I'll go from one drawing that's not so good to one drawing that I personally think is really good. So it's just kind of a bit weird, but I was quite pleased with one of the drawings that I've been working on recently, so I thought I would just make an Instagram and share it because, I'm running out of oxygen here. But I thought I would just post a picture of it on an Instagram that I made. And my Instagram, if you want to go and look at it, I mean I only have one post so far, but it is _art by Sophie _ because I mean just art by Sophie was taken and I couldn't be bothered to think of a good name because I'm just not good at making names or like coming up with names, as literally everybody on my channel will know. But yeah, so that I should hopefully be able to finish the drawing that I've been working on, and then I'll post another picture of that. So if you do want to sort of see any art I've been working on, then you can go ahead and check my Instagram out. Oh yeah, and guess who had to take another break because my fan was actually really loud this time. I feel like it can last about 10 minutes at a time, where I can record and there's no sound, or at least it's not as noticeable, but then after that it just goes crazy. So yeah, I am looking forward to getting a mic, like really, I just wish my birthday would come sooner, but yeah, we all know how we have to wait like a year each time, and I only have a month and a half to wait, but it still feels like ages. I haven't actually got any plans for my birthday. I don't really know what I'm going to do yet. Hopefully just like maybe spending some time with my family, because that's mainly what I always do. Plus I have like no friends, so it's kind of sad. But anyway, so this is the laundry room, which I did cut out a bit because it took ages, but this is what I was talking about with the washing machines, or was I talking about it? I can't remember. But I just used little fire alarms, and that's the back of them, and then I sized them up and lifted them up a bit, and there we go. Voila, washing machines. Well, not really, but a girl can dream, right? Anyway, so that's pretty much the laundry room. I really hope I changed that rogue floor tile in there. Oh, phew, okay. Just for a second there I thought I didn't, and that would have been really annoying. But anyway, so I got like a comment today saying that the staircase in my last build didn't work. And I'm not sure why, because when I player tested it, it all worked, so I'm not sure. Maybe, I don't actually know whether you need bb.moveObjects to actually play a house that uses that. I'm not sure, but I mean hopefully it works for everyone else, and hopefully it's just her. although maybe she'll get it working again. And this is the glorious, what's it called? The glorious art studio or something that I was talking about. And it basically just has a bunch of art supplies and a desk, because I don't think you can ever have too many computers in one house. Well, actually you can, definitely you can, but just in this case you can't really, because I mean 2 computers in one house with 3 bedrooms isn't that bad. And I actually don't know, because the teen girl bedroom we were just working on, I can't remember if I put a computer in her room or not. I'm pretty sure I did though. So yeah, I guess maybe 3 computers for a 3-bedroom house, and it's alright. I think it might be like you don't really need that many. Plus for like the teen, like the preteen, I think I gave him like a desk with a tablet on it instead of a computer. So yeah, I think there's enough computers in here. I mean, definitely no more, but I think it's alright. But yeah, I do really like the little art studio I did. I definitely think it looks quite nice and very colourful actually. And this is the master ensuite with a dressing room. See, I didn't know what this room at the back was supposed to be at first, and then I realised it was probably supposed to be a dressing room. I'm still not 100% sure, because on the floor plan it said it was a WIC. I don't know, it was either WIC or WC, but I didn't think it could be a WC because that's like a toilet, right? So why would they have 2 toilets? So I figured it could be used as a dressing room, but I didn't really do much to it. Just because, I mean, what else can you do in here really? But I did enjoy furnishing the ensuite. It is kind of a bit enclosed, the master ensuite, but I do think it looks quite nice, and it's quite private actually. Like, if someone accidentally walked into the bathroom, they wouldn't really be able to see you in the bath, and they obviously wouldn't be able to see you in the shower very easily, or the toilet or anything, so that's always a bit useful, even though it's a Sims and no one really cares. Well, actually they do. They definitely care about people walking into the bathroom when they're not, like, related. I don't know, do brothers and sisters get embarrassed when they walk in on each other? I mean, in real life I'm sure sisters wouldn't be as embarrassed, although I definitely wouldn't want my sisters walking in on me in the shower. But, I mean, I wouldn't care so much about if I was on the toilet. I'm not sure I'm talking about this. So this is the little outdoor area, and I used the little sun roof things, whatever they're called, from Get Together, and I did realise after building this that this would be such a hot area during summer, because the glass would definitely intensify the heat and make it so much hotter. So yeah, probably not the best in real life, but you could probably use like shutters, or maybe make those out of wood instead so that it's more shaded, and add some like sunroofs or like skylights instead. But anyway, so I definitely think I'm going to leave us off here to enjoy the rest of the video and the screenshots, because I personally quite like the screenshots. But anyway, so definitely let me know what you think about the Parenthood pack, if you think it's like worth the money and stuff, and if you're going to get it, because I'm definitely going to be very interested in people's opinions of it. And I'm going to probably spend the next 4 hours of my life watching videos of people looking through the Parenthood pack, because, you know, why not? If you've got the time to spare, just, you know, watch every single video possible. But anyway, so I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give this a big thumbs up, and this build is on the gallery under my username, which is SugarPlumSimss. And also check out my Twitter if you'd like, it's in the description as well. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye!